AEIS artist. Welcome to our online art lesson. I miss all your smiling faces, but since you're at home, we still want you to get some art in. So our lesson, we have just finished up our self-portraits, which turned out fabulous, and they were pop art. Remember, we used bright, bold colors. We used black to go around our images, and so that's part of the pop art culture, pop art feeling of artwork is bright colors and a lot of times outlining it. We're going to look at and be inspired by the artist Romero Britto. He is a Brazilian born artist. He had 8 brothers and sisters and lived in Brazil, and then in 1983 he went to Europe to study art and study with the masters, started exhibiting there, and really felt good about his art and was very much encouraged to continue. So he did. And he moved to Miami, where he opened up a studio to the public, and even today still does awesome art. His art is called pop art because it is very simple. He uses bold colors, black lines to outline his work. So this is one of his images. It's a cat. Here's another one, a fun dog. So his artwork is really fun. It's happy. You kind of smile when you look at it. Fish. You can notice that he does hearts. So he does a lot of hearts. You can't see in here, but he also likes to include his initials a lot of times in his artwork. And here's one more, a really fun looking elephant. So we're going to be inspired by his simple design and his bright colors to work on our piece. So we're going to give you, and some of them I have already given you, a little white sheet of paper. However, if I missed you or you weren't here, just grab anything to do this project on. It doesn't have to be a certain size. White is good, but if you have other color, if you want to work on newsprint, Romero Britto used to work on newspaper because that's all he had. So you can certainly work on newspaper as well. With this project, and this is a finished one, we're going to kind of tie it into or think not only about pop art and Romero Britto, but we're also going to maybe think about Earth Day, which is coming up in April. And so think about animals and insects that are affected by maybe climate change or how we treat the earth. So try to be inspired by that thought as well. So this student did a gecko, and gecko and lizards live outside, and if we don't take care of our environment, they won't have a home to live in. Okay, so we need them. They're kind of the temperature of how well our environment is doing, along with other insects too, which they eat. So what you're going to do with your papers, you're first going to think about a animal or a insect that you think might be affected by our climate and how well we treat our environment. And I did a couple easy ones. So I did a butterfly. I really like butterflies, and I love diving, so I did a fish. If we don't take care of our oceans, our fish aren't going to have anywhere to live. They'll die off, and it will be a sad day. So let's think happy. So for a fish, it's very easy to draw a fish. We're going to think in this project simple shapes. So for my fish, I started with a triangle, and I'm going to use a pencil. So I'm going to make, and I'll clip it to a clipboard so you can see. So I'm going to make my triangle for his tail, and I'm going to add other designs in the tail. And then I'm going to do kind of an oval, maybe a teardrop actually. It's going to be a teardrop for his body. Oval or circle for his eye. I love happy fish, so we're going to give him a happy face. Let's give him some fins. Again, I'm using simple shapes and some fins on top. Now, what you're doing does not have to be realistic at all. It could be a fun, made-up fish or any type of thing that you want to think about. Once you have your main idea down, you're then going to add lines all around. So we're going to break up our negative space behind it into different sections. So I've broken mine up into a few different sections. I think I'm going to do this one as well. And in each section, you're going to think about putting a different type of design. So in art, We have a lot of different things we think about when we're creating art. We think about color, of course. We think about how to use our lines. So we're using lines to add design. So for that, I'm going to add, I love little swirls. They make me happy when I look at them. And so I'm going to add some swirls in this section. Romero Britto used his initials, so I'm going to add my initials. And if you know how to write your initials in a foreign language, like if you know how to write them in Japanese or kanji or one of the other languages that has a different structure than our alphabet, do that. Because I know a lot of you learn in culture how to write your names. So you could write your name in Japanese in one of the squares. In another one, you could just add shapes. So another element of art is shapes, working with shapes to add to your design. And I'm going to do more shapes here. So in each square, in each section that you divided your center object into, so this is called your background, and this is your foreground. This is the thing that we're going to be focusing on. So if our background, we're adding design, in our main item, we're not. We're just going to add color. If in your main item, like this student did only color in his background, and in his object, his chameleon or whatever lizard you want to call it, he did lots of different line designs. And then he added lots of different colors. So you don't want them to be the same, meaning you don't want a lot of line designs and color in your background and in your subject matter. So you decide, is your subject going to be full of design and lines and different types of shapes, or is your background? So in this one, my background is full of different line designs, and my dragonfly, which I haven't finished yet, will be just with color. Okay? So that's one of the things you have to decide. You have to decide, what do I want to do? Where do I want to put my design? Once you have that laid out, you use whatever tools you have at home. Colored pencils, crayons. If you only have a pencil, then play around with value. So if you only have a pencil, I like to use the pencil on the side, and I'm going to shade in really dark. So I'm going to shade in all of my circles really dark if I only have a pencil. And then around there, so I'm going to turn around how I'm going to just use a pencil. And around there now I'm going to, again, I'm holding my pencil on the side. I'm just going to shade in lighter. So if I get close to my circle here, you'll see that they're different values. Value is one of the characteristics of color. Our fifth graders were working on value, going from light to dark. And so if you only have a pencil, you're going to work with how to create different types of intensities with your color by depending on how much pressure. So again, I'm going really light with my pressure to create a different value than the dark pressure. You can also use an eraser to lightly erase. I'm going really, really lightly. I'm kind of dancing on this surface. So I'm making this pencil mark. I'm not erasing it completely. I'm just making it a little bit lighter. So you can kind of play around with the intensity of how much you're going to let your pencil work for you. So that might be a good challenge, to just work with a pencil and see how many different intensities can you get with just the lead of your pencil. And then you can even leave some areas white. So since this is dark, this is white, I'm going to color in this one. And again, I like to hold my pencil on the side when I'm working this way. I'm going to fill it in dark, and then I'm going to erase a little bit. So it's like a medium tone. So with this project, we're going to think about Earth Day and what animals or insects possibly could be affected by how well we treat the earth and the environment we live in. We're going to think about simple shapes to create that animal or insect. We're going to divide our background up into different sections. And in each section, you're going to either add a design or think about a different color. And then in your main subject matter here, if your background has design, in your subject you'll just have it plain, and again think about different color. Okay. Your I can statements is today I can learn about line and space, and I can create a drawing in the style of the artist Romero Britto, something fun and light. I'll know I have done it when my drawing has patterns and is outlined with a thick black line. So again, when we're all done, we're going to go back over, and again, if you just have a pencil, you're going to make your lines nice and thick. Again, Romero Britto used nice thick lines to show some separation and to add some interest. Okay, so thick lines. Today I will also learn, if you have markers or crayons, how to lay down a solid color. So even if you just have a pencil, the way to lay down a solid color is to go in one direction. Okay, so I'm going in one direction, laying in this color. Okay, so I'm going up and down in a kind of a diagonal. I'm not doing this. Because what's that called? Scribbling! And though scribbling can be an art, we're not going to focus on that in this project. Today I will learn about contrast and how I can use bold lines and possibly color to make things stand out. So again, if you're just using pencil, you're learning about the contrast of how to create value, maybe leaving some areas white. You're going to use those bold lines with your pencil to add some interest. Now, if you have colored pencils and crayons at home, go for it and use that. But if you don't, a pencil is all that you need. And hopefully an eraser, because that helps too. So enjoy working with this Earth Day thoughtful, inspired project, thinking about Romero Britto's very simple artwork that he has. Okay, so again with Earth Day, elephants. We want to save some more elephants in this world, so think about them. His fish, I love his fish. So he's got nice, happy fish. So we're thinking happy, we're thinking colorful, or we're thinking contrast. And we're going to have some fun. So I look forward to seeing what you create when you're at home with your family members. Share with your idea. Maybe see if you can also see if everybody in your family can put a different design in every one of those sections. That might be kind of fun. So I look forward to seeing you again. Check back your email because I'll be sending you another letter. I'm also going to send you a PDF, not a letter, but a PDF about an Earth Day contest that's also coming up and sponsored. So look forward to seeing you all when you get back here at AEIS, and have fun creating.